It's currently 11:44 p.m. Here's where I am currently on the Moogle polystyrene drawing project. From the late morning hours to the early evening hours, I first completed the grass on the back of the polystyrene block. Then I did the antenna. Most of the necessary work for the antenna. And then I did the outline of the wings. During the early evening, the antenna was more during the afternoon, and the grass was from the late morning to the early afternoon. I recall waking up for today around 9:15 in the morning. But I didn't really get up until about 10:30 in the morning. And at 10:45, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich I prepared with my first cup of plain coffee. And from that time until about 1:15 p.m., I had the equivalent of 3 to 4 cups of coffee from a combination of finishing the morning pot, what was in the pot itself, from the cup I used for my first cup of coffee today, to drinking coffee cups that were partially full and left in our refrigerator at least overnight. There was still more coffee in the refrigerator when I decided to stop drinking coffee today, but I'm hoping to stay on a good sleep schedule. At 1:15 p.m., I had a chicken-flavored phenomenal pho bowl with one of the bottles of alkaline water Mom got at Wegmans, and then brought over to Dad's place at one point. Here's some of the Sharpie markers I used throughout today. I didn't use this one, though I did consider using that one for the wings, and most likely will. I used this new chisel tip, thinking I was going to have the width of the antenna cord be the width of that chisel tip, but because of how the chisel tip is shaped, it wasn't easy to have the whole tip touch the polystyrene at once precisely. So part of the tip touched the top side of the polystyrene block at first, and I used an ultrafine black Sharpie marker to make points to trace out the antenna cord, and then filled it in using first a fine-tipped black Sharpie marker, and then an ultrafine. Of that same color marker. As for the circle on top, for circles I like to do a 4-point method. I started where with the top of, by the sides of the top of the antenna cord, then went to the top, I couldn't do my usual method of first top, bottom, sides, then corners for a circle. As the top side wasn't thick enough for that. In spite of that, I still did my best with the ball or orb on top of the antenna. After outlining the initial circle, I enlarged it somewhat a few times until I was satisfied that it matched what I saw in the reference image I had created from a GIF that was sent to me. The grass, it wasn't in the reference image. I added that in, since essentially this is going to be a drawing of a Moogle within a background. When I'm done outlining the Moogle, I'll spend some time creating a sort of background. With a sky and clouds. During the evening and night hours, I worked on catching up with the backlog of my dinner videos, editing and uploading the August 30 my dinner video, and then a few hours later, editing and uploading the August 31st my dinner video. I currently have both of those videos on my YouTube channel. I spent some time on Congregate. Playing Forge and Fortune. A bit of Monster Tiles TD. And then later on, I went on Crush for a little bit, mainly in order to prestige, and I'll visit again after some days. Crush. Though I paid much more attention towards working on the Moogle polystyrene drawing project.